Morris the Midget Moose is ridiculously cute. I'm probably also going to butcher that title if I mention it again because I have to really stop and think when I say Morris the Midget Moose. It's a bit of a tongue twister. I really like that one. It's about two outcast mises, and how they feel like they are being made fun of and not part of society, and how they come together and try to overcome this. It's very sweet. It was animated by Disney in 1950, apparently based on a picture book. I don't know how much the narrative compares to that in the picture book, but I can certainly confirm it's very, very sweet. And primarily we're focusing on these two mooses, but we also have these characters, these little Beetle type characters. They're very sweet. I really like the animation for them, and they're not quite fully grown yet, and they're told the story of Morris to help them feel better about themselves. Morris is this moose who, as you can imagine, is called the Midget Moose. He's a very small moose, but he has massive, massive antlers. I mean, comically big antlers for the size of his head. And of course, he gets made fun of. And one day he meets this other moose. And this other moose is a standard sized, fully grown moose with what I can only describe as the world's smallest antlers. They are teeny, teeny, tiny little antlers on his head. And they obviously have a friendship straight away because they are both very individual mooses. That just doesn't sound right. Who feel like outcasts. And they come together to try and overcome their problem. I won't say how they do it, but I'll think it was very creative. I really enjoyed it. There's this other moose called, the other moose is called Balsam, but there's this other moose called Thunderclap, which is a brilliant name. And he is this big, powerful moose who is kind of like an alpha moose. He looks down on everyone, and he's a bit of a bully. And Morris and Balsam might have the opportunity to put him in his place. I won't say any more, but the animation style is lovely. The animation of the moose, I really like. Yes, it's comical, but it's also heartwarming. The fact that it's a story within a story and we have these little beetles, I think, works really well. It just makes it a bit more in depth, a little bit more well developed. That's something that I really appreciated. It's directed by Jack Hanna and Charles A. Nichols, and it stars the voices of fabulous Clarence Nash and also Dink Trout. I really enjoyed it. It's probably not my favourite animated short, certainly not my favourite from the 50s, but it's a really fun little animation that's got a really sweet tale. The characters are really interesting. The actual animation design is really nice. I cannot fault Morris the Midget Moose.